In this module, we are going to be looking at mindset switches, looking at environments, looking at triggers, and looking at how we can overcome cravings. So, when it comes to a fat loss journey, it's not going to be easy all the time. There are going to be obstacles. There are going to be days when you're going to slip up and you're going to find it difficult. But these are a couple of things that I think are really important when it comes to trying to switch our mindset. So the first thing is a mindset switch. And I want you to start thinking about how you view yourself and how you view things. Start thinking a bit differently. What I mean by that is how we actually talk, how we actually phrase things, how we actually speak to people. An example would be if you're out on a night out with your friends and you go to have drinks, or you go to get some food, a big pizza, instead of saying, right guys, I can't have all these drinks or I can't have the full pizza because I'm on a diet, you would say, right guys, I'm not one of these people who drink as much anymore, so I'm just going to have one or two drinks, or I'm just going to have a small pizza because I don't eat that type of food as much anymore. You start telling yourself the type of person you are. Okay, so instead of saying I don't want to go to the gym, or I have to go to the gym because I'm on a diet or I want to lose weight, you would say I'm a person who goes to the gym quite regularly. So it's a slight language change, it's a slight switch in how you actually say things, how you actually view things. That's the first thing. The second thing is to understand our environments. Our environments are super important. Our habits are really important because they will dictate how successful you are long term. After this program, even going in to next year and the next coming years, everything is dictated by your habits and everything is dictated by your environment. So I want you to look and start thinking about how your environment dictates your habits and how your habits need to be positive, because your habits dictate action. And we want positive actions. So remember, your environment will dictate your habits, and your habits will dictate the action, and we want as many positive actions as possible. Now, your environment, what's that made up of? Your environment is basically where you live, the places you hang out, including where you work and you spend your free time, and also the people you spend the most amount of time with. Okay, so for example, if you are somebody who at the weekend goes out with 5 people and you drink 10 drinks, 10 pints, and you have a Chinese and a pizza, and you order takeaway food, or your friends do all those things, those 5 people do all those things over the weekend, the chances are you're going to be doing the same thing because you are in that environment, you're with those people, you are normally going to do the same thing. So what we need to do is we need to think about where are we spending the most amount of time, who are we spending the most amount of time with. And I'm not saying you have to change your friends. What I'm saying is you need to think about the amount of time you spend with certain people, the amount of time you spend in certain places, and what you're actually doing. And maybe replace some of that time with time spent doing something else. So you could spend a bit more time going for a walk with people, or going for a coffee to catch up with people instead of going for pints. Okay, so that's just, again, regards environment. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk about is how we can actually replace bad habits with good habits. Okay, so we have to think about that our day to day is made up of everything, a lot of habits. So, for example, when you get up in the morning, one of the first things people do is normally go to the bathroom. They might put water on their face, they might brush their teeth, they'll get a shower, they'll get changed, they'll make their bed. These are habits that are ingrained from doing them consistently over a long period of time. And it's important to understand that our habits can be viewed as positive, they can be viewed as negative, or they can be somewhere in the middle, they can be viewed as neutral habits. What we need to do is we need to make sure that, and we need to try our best at trying to do as many positive habits in a day as possible. So I want you to think about the habits that you actually do on a day-to-day basis, and think about the negative habits, or the bad habits, I suppose, and see if you can replace them with some good habits. So I'm just going to give you some examples of some good habits. So a good habit would be to drink a pint glass of water first thing in the morning. A good habit would be to pack your gym bag the night before. A good habit would be to prepare your meals the night before. A good habit would be to track your calories before you actually eat the food. Okay, so these things, maybe you're not doing them at the moment, but they're just small things, but knowing that they're positive, the more positive things you do in the day, the more successful you're going to be. For example, if you didn't do the positive habit of packing your gym bag the night before and you didn't do that and something came up the following day that you were too busy or you got a bit lazy, you may not go to the gym because your gym bag's not packed, okay? Or you might forget to bring it to work, therefore you may not go to the gym. But by installing a positive habit like that, you're better off, okay? Other things including like setting up a bedtime. And one habit I want everyone now to do as part of our 60-day challenge is to take a picture of either the calories for the entire day and put it in the group every day, or take a picture of the foods they're eating, one picture for the 3 meals a day, and pop it up on the Facebook group. Not only is that going to make you accountable to the group, but it's also going to develop a habit of you being conscious of the foods that you're eating. Okay, so we've talked now about environment, we've talked about positive habits and negative habits, and how we want to have more positive habits in our day-to-day. We've also talked about how we have to switch the language you use and switch our mindset. Now, saying all that, we are probably going to get cravings, and I just want to quickly talk about how we can overcome these and how we can actually stay on top of them. Now, a craving normally comes in the form of wanting some sort of food. We normally want to snack on something, and it's traditionally not going to be something healthy. And a lot of the time, and most of the time, cravings come from boredom. When you are bored, you're more likely to want to eat something or snack on something. I know myself, when I'm working and I'm focused on what I'm doing, I don't even think about food. I'm not that hungry. However, the moment that I find myself kind of bored and have nothing to do, or doing something that's very passive, like watching the TV, or going to the cinema is another one, you kind of automatically get these cravings that you want to eat something, just again to take the boredom away. So understanding that it actually comes down to boredom is actually really important, because a really good way to get rid of cravings is to give your mind, give your brain something to do. And this is something I always practice myself. So if I find that, okay, I'm craving something now, and I'm on a diet, I shouldn't be having it, I might go on my phone, I might give a friend a call, I might call a family member. So I'm having a conversation, it takes my mind off it. I might send an email, I might do something again that's just distracting my brain. So try to think of something that's going to distract your brain. Go outside for 5 minutes, go for a walk, whatever it is. Distract your brain is one way to overcome cravings. Another thing about cravings is that they're normally triggered by something. So understanding your triggers is really important. For example, if you get your cravings when you sit down in the evening before you watch TV, or as you watch TV, you know that your trigger is the TV. I know that is a trigger for myself. When I sit down to watch maybe Netflix at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I might have just had dinner 20, 30 minutes beforehand. I'm not hungry because I've had food, but all of a sudden I want more food. I want to snack on something because the TV is a trigger for me. Understanding your triggers means you can actually replace the cravings with something else. So you can either make a rule, is a good thing to do. So for example, to say, right, the rule is you're not allowed to eat in the sitting room, so therefore you can't eat in front of the TV. Or maybe you have your cravings, but you replace the normal cravings with something else. So go for low calorie options. Instead of snacking on chocolate, popcorn, crisps, whatever it is, replace them with lower calorie options. Rice cakes, protein pudding, some of the healthy snacks that you'll be getting as part of your recipes, crackers, different things like this, Greek yogurt. They can really help. They're fulfilling the whole idea of your craving, but you're not eating lots and lots of calories. So setting rules, low calorie options, we want to remove our triggers. Another good thing to do when it comes to that cravings and things like that is to actually take a break. Give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes. A craving normally lasts for about 10, 15, 20 minutes sometimes. But if you can give a break and not give into it by that time, the craving will pass. So just wait for it to pass. Try those different things and see what happens. The last thing I want to talk about is the whole idea of when we're actually consuming food. And again, it comes down to psychology. A lot of the time, and I know this is definitely for myself, I eat quite fast. And for anybody who is eating quite fast out there, this is something I want you to try. So I want you to start taking more time with your food, okay? Spending more time actually eating your food will actually allow you to enjoy it that bit more, and you'll find that you won't consume as much. So chewing on your food, actually savoring what you're eating as opposed to just gobbling it down. I know if I'm hungry and I will eat something that's really, really quickly, I don't feel full. But actually delaying the time you want to eat it, you're not going to be as hungry 15 or 20 minutes later. And it actually feel like you've eaten more than you actually have. So I want anybody out there who struggles with not feeling full or not knowing if they're full or not to take more time chewing their food. That's a super, super tip for you. So guys, listen over to this module again. It's all to do with mindset, looking at our environment, replacing things in our environment. So for example, again, I'm going to go back to it. If you have cookies, biscuits, things lying around in the shelves or near tea or coffee, you're normally going to go for these things when you have the tea or coffee. Replace them, remove them from your environment, because if they're there, they're going to be a cue, they're going to trigger, and you're going to eat them. So think about your environment, think about where you're going, the place you're going, the people you're hanging around with. Try to replace the bad habits to good habits, because remember, your environment dictates your habits dictate your actions, and we want more positive actions in each of our day compared to negative actions. So guys, I hope that was helpful. Again, before we leave, your new habit that I want you to get in the hang of is taking a picture of your food portions, or taking a picture at the end of the day of your total amount of calories and posting it in the Facebook group. I will see you inside there.